Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because it
teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is our bodies are our best friends. And I have Teron, hey, Rodney, and Steven joining me. Hey guys. So our bodies is our best friends. So why would I say that? Because who else is with you 24/7?
That's correct.
Your body is always with you and is always listening to you. So with that being said, what would you think would be the implication of how would you treat your best friend?
Oh man, how would I treat my best friend? Pretty much, I would love on my best friend. One thing I can say, like, my best friend is my best friend been through a lot. My best friend been through a lot, so I had to transform my best friend from a low vibration to a higher vibration, and then just understand that if I wanted to have it in a certain space of love, of just health, then I need to make sure that I take care of it, you know, because it's not just good for my body, but my spirit as well.
Yeah, I think I would probably do similar. If I were to view my body as my best friend, I would probably be a lot more patient, and not so harsh on decisions made. I guess is a nice way of saying I would eat a little better, but also understand my cheat days.
Yeah, I would take care of my best friend and love my best friend.
Yeah. So a lot of times we, just in life in general, the things that are closest to us, it's like we take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And our bodies tend to be one of those things. And I think when we talk to our bodies, basically our bodies, like I said, it listens to everything we say. So whether we're talking to it or about it or talking about anybody or thinking about anybody, everything passes through our bodies first. So if I'm having angry thoughts, that anger is going through my body. If I'm having loving thoughts, then that love is pouring out through my body too. And so a lot of times when our bodies are out of balance, when we're ill, injured, that type of thing, we get mad at our bodies. But really our bodies are doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's responding to its environment. It's responding to the thoughts that we're having. And it's showing us, like, okay,
Right.
you know, you're not listening, you're not being loving. You're in judgment, you're in separation, you're in lack, you're in limitation, you're in fear, you're doing all those things, and it's all coming through me. And so now I'm showing you what you've created.
And that makes perfect sense too, because when I think about it, like, people get nervous and like have bumps pop up on their face, or you know, you might do somebody wrong and now you got a bump that popped up on your lip, like just random things. Like, so I can easily see the correlation when I think about anything negative. But again, you know, when you try and flip that to positive, I never identified as that for some reason.
Yeah, I think about like when I may have a lot on my mind or having negative thoughts. It affects my body because I don't necessarily have an appetite to eat and things like that. And then when you feeling good, like in a mental aspect, then your body feel good. Like you got a little extra pep in your step. You know, you just feel better.
Yeah, a lot of times we can get it when we're like you, the little saying, I'm sick and tired, right? Like we can get the negative, like we pour negative in, that our bodies will respond. But sometimes, like you say, we don't think about the opposite. If your thoughts can make you sick, then your thoughts can make you well.
I know sometimes, like if I go into the gym, I make that a routine for myself. And those days that I do go to the gym, my whole day I feel good. You know, I'm feeling wonderful. But I recognize the difference when I don't go. Like when I don't go, I'm hard on myself. You know, I feel like something has been missing in my day. I'm looking in the mirror like, dang, I got smaller today. Yeah. You know. So it do really affect you. So for the most part, I just try to make sure that I don't be too hard on myself, and just make sure that my emotions are aligned with the body.
Yeah, your thoughts will definitely affect your body because I know I usually go to Vegas every October, and I always tell you, like, every time I go to Vegas in October, I get sick.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I get sick. I keep saying that. Yeah, so last time I went, I didn't get sick. So that's just changing your thoughts on those kind of negative thoughts about your body.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, and I think another big part of that is to, again, always be pushing positive energy through yourself and around you. So I think it's just important, like, even if it's tough for you to like manufacture that at that moment, to just try and give out, so that way like you can at least attempt to receive it.
And then talk to yourself too. I talk to myself a lot, so I make sure that I'm talking positive to myself.
And I do want to stress and point out, time and time again, hopefully every podcast I point this out, is when we're being judgmental against other people, our bodies don't know. Who are you judging? You're judging me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, everything you're putting out, it passes through you first, passes through your body first. So just being mindful, like to, you know, like a lot of times we think that when we're in judgment of something, we think that's a good thing, you know. So let's say if people are out on the canal and they're littering, and we're like, they should not be littering, you know, da 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 da. So we don't see that as something that's harmful to us. Like we see that as good, but really that negative energy that you're putting out into the world is coming through you first. And so we have to find ways to have loving energy towards the things that we want to see, I guess, elevated in the world versus a negative energy towards it. And seeing that even those people out there who might be polluting the canal, even they are divine beings as well. And they're in their perfect timing, and it's okay. And that we have to find ways to flip it in our head of what's really going on, and things that if we want the canal to be beautiful, then we put that loving, beautiful energy to the canal versus being mad at people who are polluting it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, yeah.
And I'd say why I think that's so important now, because, you know, like the name of the title, like our body is our best friend. Like a good best friend, like usually like rides for you like in that moment or whatever. So if you putting out like a negative feeling, like, oh, bad littering, then of course your best friend gonna be like, yeah, bad littering. So that's like double the impact right there on you. So yeah.
And so I think the body is one of the things. It's like for me, because it's so close to me,
Right.
it's almost harder for me to get it, you know, like to think of it from an energetic perspective. And so, like, for me, I can be so hard on my body. And, you know, you all know I have like these injuries, and I just Be like, like, why do you hurt? When are you gonna get back? And just really like flowing just that negative, or I mean not necessarily negative, but energy that doesn't feel good. Flowing that energy, and then being able to find ways to flip it. See, I'm a firm believer that you really could eat anything you wanted to eat. That you could do as little as much exercise as you want to do with your body, etc. But we don't believe that, right? So we believe that if I eat this, delicious pizza, if I go overboard, then that's the problem. Like I'm poisoning my body. So if that's what I believe, I mean, think about it. Like if this is your child, right, and you think that if I feed this child all this food, it's going to cause harm, but then I do it anyway.
Right.
So that's what we do to ourselves on a regular basis. Like we think, okay, if I eat this, it's going to be harmful to me, but then I eat it anyway. Or if I don't exercise, then that's going to be harmful to me, but then I don't exercise anyway. So now, like I said, I do believe that we can, as we're eating something, this pizza, that we can transform it and say, oh my gosh, this is just going to be the best thing ever, and it's going to nourish my body, and etc. Like if we're eating it in that energy, then it won't affect you in a negative way. But most of the times we're not eating it in that energy. We're like, oh Lord, I know I shouldn't be eating it, but you do it anyway. But like for me, with my body, what I'm trying to learn is how to, first of all, forgive myself for all the, negative that I've been pouring in, but also starting to accept everything that happens to it as it's great. Like this is for me. So if I injure myself, like this happened for me, and then come up with at least one reason why it happened for me. And so like I'm like, I want to, that's one of the things I want to do in life, is to be able to help people to bring healing to their own bodies. Like I don't know how to do it, but that's what I want to do. And so I'm telling myself, oh, okay, great, I'm injured. So this is going to help me create exactly what it is that I want to know, because I want to do it for myself. I'm going to take a pause right there because I got so much more I want to say about that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like the stuff we say about our bodies as fact. Like, you got people that say, yeah, when it rains, this such gonna act up. And like myself, I always say, I don't eat spicy food because I know it's gonna tear my stomach up for a couple of days. But really, I can put different energy on it, and I'm already saying the outcome of what's gonna happen before I even eat it.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said you've never really thought about it like, oh, we can't eat this or we can't eat that, because that's kind of been my standpoint too. Like every time I've done a diet, it's never been like in the goal of losing or like gaining weight. It's always been like a mental thing for me, because like I would always tell anybody, like my body just tends to lose and gain 20 pounds like randomly throughout on its own. And I guess if I would put more thought into it, it's probably not random. It's probably around the energy that I'm putting around at the time. But so the idea of like eating for weight was never in my mind or my thought process, because it just never happened for me.
I say, I think I drank like a gallon of water, right, a day. And so before I started drinking that gallon of water, I had to force myself to do it. I mean, I really did, because I knew that my body needed it, for one, and I was drinking too much juices. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my body right. Started drinking this water. So first week drinking water was a struggle. it was a struggle, because it was hard trying to drink a gallon of water a day. And then after a while, I started getting into the habit of doing it on a routine basis. And I noticed the difference with my body. Like beforehand, my body was feeling sluggish. My body was telling me, Steve, you need some water. Stop playing. Go get you some water. So I said, all right, cool. So I started drinking a gallon of water, and I felt the difference, but I felt really good. I felt good that I was giving my body something that it really needs to keep me going. So realizing like not to be so hard on myself and not try to sort of resist what I know that my body needs. Something like what you were saying before.
I'm so quick to, I mean, if I think about if I had a kid and my kid is like, I don't feel good, then I would nurture the kid, right? But if I don't feel good, I'm like, well, so you better get up and do what you're supposed to be doing. It's like I don't give myself the same leeway that I would give someone I love. So why is that?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I do the same, so I can't answer.
Can you imagine? You're like, oh, I feel good, and they're like, so you better go ahead and get up and go run that 20 miles you plan to run today. And that's exactly what I would do. I could be as sick as a dog. Like I could just be like, oh, I don't feel good. But on my schedule it says run 20 miles. So I'd be like, all right, just get up. And I would do it anyway. And so now that it's like, no, chicky, well, we're not gonna work it off for you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like your body has the final say.
It does. It really does. I notice your emotions go a lot with your body on, how you feeling. Because sometimes if I'm feeling like, you know what, you need to go to the gym, Steve. You know you need to go, right? I'm like, man, I worked all day. I ain't feeling it. Especially if I didn't go in the morning time, I gotta force myself. So the body's like, depending on my mood and how I'm feeling, it's like, all right, I ain't going. The body's not gonna go.
It's the same move.
Yeah, it just ain't gonna move. But if I'm in that feeling of like, I'm motivated, like I have that energy, my body's like, all right, yeah. When I get in the gym, I'm moving, I'm doing my thing. So I would say your emotions on how you're feeling plays a part too with your body.
So I did have some success this week. So one of the things that I've been doing is pouring light through my body, like literally just seeing light pouring into me and just everything, every cell in my body just lighting up and feeling love. So I'm like a glowing, loving light and holding that in the space of my body. And I have been doing a different type of exercise lately. And in that exercise, it causes me to do a lot of jumping, which has caused my ankle to because I tore a ligament in my ankle. And so like the exercise that I have been doing, it was okay. But this new thing is caused my ankle just to go all out of whack and, swelling up and can barely walk and definitely can't put on heels and, that type of thing. I'm just like, oh my goodness, mad at my ankle. And then I just started pouring light and love through my whole body. And every day I'm like practicing catching myself whenever I'm having negative thoughts about anything, judging anything. And saying, oh, that's not very loving of you. And then I flip it. And so last week I could barely walk with my ankle. This week, it looks just like the other ankle. There's no swelling, there's no pain in the ankle. And I'm like, okay, check me out.
Perfect. We can put that energy out there and heal yourself, which I know is one big goal for you.
I remember I tried one time when I was in the gym. I'm just thinking. I said, my foot was sort of bothering me, but it wasn't really, right? So my thought and my energy kept thinking about my foot was hurting, right? So after a while, I'm in the gym, I'm moving, and my foot actually started hurting a little bit. So I'm like, I said, okay. So what I'm thinking, and with my body, I'm like, is actually, when I'm thinking, that's what's going to actually happen. You know, I'm going to actually feel this way. And I'm like, all right, so let's change that energy around. And I'll stop thinking about my foot hurt, period. Start walking a little different. Start feeling a little like, okay, I said, all right, cool.
Speaking of our bodies, though, and I swear I mention this story often,
Uh-huh.
but I never forget one time you told us that you had read something about like when you think and visualize yourself like working out, it's like the same effects in the Olympic trainers did it. So I say an embarrassing story. This actually just happened like last week. I went to the gym, but I didn't have enough time to like really do like a real workout. So I went to the gym, and like I ran like a half a mile. I did like a couple machines, and then I sat in the sauna for about like a good 30 minutes. But I was short on time though, so you gotta understand. So I sat in the sauna. I was like, I'm just gonna visualize myself like working out or whatever. Now that day I didn't do any chest work, but I was visualizing myself like bench pressing and things of that nature. I got home, went to sleep. I woke up the next day, my arms were sore, like I had did all that work, and I was like, man, I don't know what happened. It just dawned on me. It's probably because I was visualizing it all though. But like in that moment, I was like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna visualize doing that. I don't feel like going in there and doing all of that.
See your son.
That's all I wanted to do.
And I actually, since you brought it up, there's a man, I think he was like in his 70s at the time. He's probably closer to 80 something, 90 now. But he was like real fit. He would just get down, like to show off and like do tons of push-ups or whatever.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, well, what kind of workouts do you do? And he's like, I don't do no workouts. I just go to the gym and I just watch people work out and pretend like it's me.
Okay. The people in there working hard.
He's on there on the hardest work.
Yeah. I was thinking about I was watching YouTube and I seen this lady. She was like about, I want to say 82, somewhere in that ballpark, and she was on Steve Harvey, right? And so she was like on the ground doing push-ups. She did it with her fingers, and I'm like, okay. So she asked Steve. She was like, yeah. So how about you, Steve? You want to try? Yeah, see, the way my arm is set up, this morning, I normally can do it, but I can't do it. So it made me think like, all right, yeah. So you thinking that you can't do it, you can't do it. But it was interesting seeing her do that. I was like, wow, this lady got energy. Like I know her energy was just like, I was like, man, every time you get 80 years old.
I mean, I can wait.
Yeah, I take that back. I get it.
Any closing comments?
Just be mindful of what you think with your body. That's why we tell anyone, what you think is what your body going to start feeling. So if you feel good, just make sure you tune in with good energy.
Yeah, and I would say be patient with yourself. Definitely give yourself the space and time to grow, and give your body that as well.
And then, of course, I would say at this juncture, I would say to literally see yourself filled with light and the feeling of love, and let it pulsate through your body. Remember, your body is your best friend. It's always with you. It's always listening to you, always responding to you. It's working perfectly because it's responding to your every thought. But that's no reason to then punish yourself for the thoughts that you had. Only thing we need to do at this point is just change our thinking and put it on something that's loving. And it's not just loving your body, but also loving everyone and everything around you. All right, thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is Arvette.
This is Steve.
Right.
That's right.